Here's a story about my childhood to help you understand your child with sensory issues so you can relate to them better. Now, when I was a kid, I played Little League Baseball and I was decent at it. I'd get up to the plate and I'd swing. Sometimes I'd hit the ball, sometimes I'd strike out, but either way, I'd have fun because I was engaged in the process. However, there was one time a year where we played a team with a pitcher named Ryan. And Ryan was good. He was an all-star amongst the all-stars. So when he pitched, I was frozen in fear. I remember one game in particular where I started shaking just watching him pitch before it was even my turn. So by the time I walked up to the plate and it was my turn to bat, I was stuck. I couldn't move. And boom, 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 I was struck out before I even knew what happened because he threw pitches hard and fast. Boom, strikes right down the middle every time if he wanted. He could even throw a curveball. So he was intimidating. And what happened was, if you were to watch me play most of the time during the year, I would look like a normal kid because I'd be having a fun time, I'd be interacting with everyone else, except for the time that I played Ryan. Because Ryan made me stuck, frozen in fear, I look like a completely different kid. So why was that? Well, my brain was used to handling a range of baseball, Little League baseball, that was normal. However, Ryan's skill level was so high up that it was more than my brain could process or comprehend. So if I was playing normal pitchers, I did fine. If I got to playing against Ryan's level, it was so much sensory input for my brain couldn't understand it. So I became frozen in fear. I didn't do anything. Now, what does that have to do with your child? Well, if you or I, if our brains are handling information well, we're living in this normal range. While your child, if they have a sensory issue, might actually be living in a range down here. So if you or I could handle sounds, let's say at a movie theater, they seem normal. If your child has a sensory issue to noise, that sound is way higher than what they can handle. It would be like them going into a rock concert without earplugs or having to listen to nails on a chalkboard. It'd be way more than they could handle. So how can you use this to relate better to your child? Well, the next time you feel like your child's frozen, that they're not moving, maybe they're overwhelmed, they're scared, you can see something's happening in their brain that they're not handling well, I want you to think not of what's going on in that situation, but I want you to magnify it a whole bunch. So if it is an issue with sound, it might seem normal to you. So if you think, well, that's nothing to them, well, it's nothing if you're used to that, if that's your normal. But if your normal's here, boom, and it goes up to here, that's a lot. If your child's sensitive to touch, they don't want to put their clothes on, it might be similar to you having to jump into the lake in the middle of winter, do one of the polar bear plunges. It would shock your system. So next time your child's reacting to a situation that seems normal, I want you to think of putting that situation to an extreme in your body, and then you're going to be able to start to empathize, start to relate to your child. And if that's happening, realize that your child's brain is getting way more information than they can handle. So go over and comfort them. Give them a nice hug. Get them out of that situation. Know that they're not freezing because they don't want to do it or they're being stubborn. They're not scared because they're not wanting to engage. It's just simply that it's more than their brain can handle. So if you can get them out of that situation, give them a big hug, and empathize by realizing, you know what, for me that might be okay, but for my child, it's too much. That way you're gonna know how to help your child, not only now, but in the future. So hopefully this helps. And if you have any questions, definitely leave comments below or let us know, and I'll talk to you soon.